Why we went to such kind of entrepreneur event, startup event?
Why we went?
Yes.
To understand the needs of the people who start in a business, because I myself, I tried to start businesses several times and struggle, so I know some of the struggles, but they may be different. As we were discussing before going there, it's like we wanted to see what are the real needs and how we can support, from coaching, from mentoring, to expand our network as well. Actually, it was very interesting to meet the CEO that was there of the organization, Singa. I enjoyed a lot, actually, the evening, going there, meeting the people, talking with the young people who wants to start companies.
There were a lot of inspiration and passion.
Yes, and that brings me to the topic like we discussed sometimes. Is to me, passion and inspiration is not always the thing. And it's like you could have a very successful business with a lot of passion on it. And then even you have a successful one, then you feel like it's not what you wanted to do. And I think in this society, we say a lot like, hey, do whatever is your passion. But if your passion is not aligned with your values, I don't know if the people have thought about that, but to me, that was the case. And that's why I want to support here. It's like, I love this space. I love to, and I would love if I could travel around this space, discovering new places. It would be like in the movies, it would be great. And I think it would be great if mankind could really explore the universe and discover as well all the wonders, all the mysteries that are out there. And I'm really passionate about the space, but then the aerospace industry I'm working in is not fully aligned with my values. And I don't see the impact I can bring to the people. I don't see as well how that is really helping to have a better world. It's helping, but not the way or the speed I want to do. Is very institutional, is very related also with defense. Yeah, it was my passion, or it is my passion, the space. I love all the mysteries of the universe, but not necessarily the aerospace industry. And then when I see people starting businesses, sometimes, oh yeah, I made this my passion. It's really, maybe it's not your passion. Maybe it's just you found because you have many ideas, now you found something you can work on it, and it's more attractive than working maybe in a company or whatever, but it's truly your passion. Maybe it is, but I think that is where the coaching that you precisely are doing could help a lot to bring them that clarity. And many times they have this passion, but they don't have this business intelligence and they don't know how to start. And that is where I think we can also support also in the mentoring, because I think we tried several things. I tried many businesses. I won some ideas in some competitions like yesterday, and I failed in other ones. And then it was very difficult to come into fruition. And it's okay, what happened? And I've learned over the year, and now I'm helping some people who want to start their own businesses a little bit to focus precisely on giving these first steps. And I think I've seen that during the event, and to me it was also very good to see, okay, those guys are going through the same problems I was going through, okay, and how can I help them?
I've heard a lot about co-founder coach.
Yeah.
It's very popular nowadays. But the term co-founder coach is what I understand. Last night, when I chat, I asked people, do you know what is coaching? And they know only co-founder coaches. And co-founder coaches help them, for sure, it's very important, but mostly like a mentoring. In business intelligence topic, they support them. Where to reach the information, let me say. What I understand from co-founder coach, mostly where to find and what they need in terms of business intelligence. But I also ask some questions about personally, because they have the dream and most of the time they are alone in the business, in the creation period, in the beginning. And I ask, how you feel? What are you struggle about? And personally, even some of them couldn't understand my point. I struggle about this and this, but they didn't understand personally what are your struggling points. And then it comes most of the time to 2 points. One of them is about, I need to have my 9-to-5 job because I need money and I don't know how to continue. And another point is, what if I afraid a lot? I will effort a lot, but what if I could not succeed? Because of that, I try to ask some questions to create awareness about that part. But this I see last night is the missing part that they are aware, because they always want to take some actions like social media, finance. Those are all okay for sure. But also to integrate how to manage time personally. What are my weaknesses there? What I need to focus more in my personal growth. I don't mean to take take some immediately some psychological coaching sessions, but emotional resilience is highly important. And when I ask the question, sometimes I just see in the face that, what do you mean with these emotions, afraid? And because of that, I highly believe, I read in an article yesterday that coaching is an inner work, which startup co-founders need a lot. And also this external work, mentoring is though. Because of that, I really believe coaching and mentoring at the same time, co-founders can benefit a lot. This is the point. But first I want to ask you, because for me, I'm really in the beginning. I also have a part-time job. At the same time, I try to create our business. But for you, since years, you are doing this. Especially they're asking how you manage your time. Again, always the topic come to that point. First, maybe I can ask to you how you managed it. Yeah. We also saw the examples last night with 2 children. There were some women with 2 children.
One is the jury. She was like an entrepreneur as well, but she also have 2 kids, several businesses.
Several businesses. Yes, so it is possible. And also at the same time, she has full-time job. Not full-time, part-time, but I can say that she's working also in a company. Maybe we can also invite her to one of our podcasts.
I told her actually, like, I wanted to invite her, but I felt she didn't have a lot of connection with me, so I invited you. I think you exchanged contacts with her.
Yes, I can contact her, and I will ask her for the women with kids and who are struggling, because I know this is difficult.
This is difficult. You're one of them, so you can also tell a lot about time management, especially with kids, which is not my case.
Sure, I can tell, but you are doing this since years. Like you try some businesses and since years. How you manage this with your 9-to-5 job?
I would say it's going to be always difficult, and it's mostly because we all want to do many things. The most important thing is to learn to say no to something you want to do.
Can you give one example?
Yes, I had many. Now I'm struggling because I actually now in a period like I'm not saying no to some things because I want to support my family as well on business side, and because it's a difficult moment. So sometimes it's more difficult to say no. So I'm aware of the impact on that. And sometimes it's a tough decision, and sometimes you need to realize, okay, what are you sacrificing? And many people are sacrificing, for instance, sleep. And now on the last few months, I'm sacrificing sleep a little bit. I'm trying not to do it, but it's a conscious decision. And now we have launched, and now hopefully things go better and I can recover. So definitely, I don't recommend anyone to sacrifice sleep unless they consider that it's truly needed. And that's the difficulty is, okay, I want this project to succeed. Should I sleep less? In general, no. Because in the long term, you will become forgetful, you will make bad decisions, and at the end, it will have a worse impact. So at the end is to prioritize what you are going to say no. And sometimes it's like you have many projects at the same time. For instance, at the beginning of the year, I wanted to focus more on our business, and I do triathlon. I like to do a half Ironman, like quite long, not very long, but quite long endurance sport. And at the beginning of the year, I was saying, no, I want to focus more on the business. So I reduced my training, and it was a conscious decision. So instead of training every day or even twice a day, I was training maybe 3-4 days a week. Still, it could be a good level of fitness to keep myself healthy and to keep some level of fitness, but it's a compromise. And I was not feeling guilty for not training. No, I'm doing that because I want to focus on the business.
I think this point is very important, because most of the time people are coming to me in the coaching sessions in the beginning. I feel lost. I feel complicated. This is a point that if you do it consciously, then it will not demotivate you, I think. If you say that, okay, in the beginning of the year, I will focus to this, if this is a conscious decision, but most of the time, in my cases, there is no conscious there. They said, I want to do something, but I couldn't. I don't know why. And yes, here, because of that, I want to emphasize the conscious decision.
Yes, and that is coming back to what you said before. It's like coaching is helping you with your inner side, with your mindset. And that is basically the root of almost everything. It's like we were saying, okay, this conscious decision is coming from you. Most of the cases, it could be like, okay, you have 3 kids, or the 3 kids are sick at the same time. And then, of course, you are not saying, no, I decide not to attend this one because it's the oldest one. No, you will try to help all the 3 kids, hopefully. And so sometimes you will be forced, okay, to take action on all the ongoing things. But in most of the cases, it's going to be yourself, like saying, I want to do this, and I want to do that as well. And we want to do everything. We want everything. We humans want everything, and we cannot. So yes, the first thing is to bring that clarity on what is more important to you, and the clarity that you are saying no, at least not now, not for the next 2 years, or depending what we are doing, but it's not now. I'm not really doing this. And that is, I think, with coaching, they can get this clarity on this priority and what they are really going to say no, and have someone that is really making them accountable and say, hey, I said no to that, so why are you working on this? And then assess, because maybe really the priorities have changed for a reason, okay? So they can assess. But definitely I don't want anyone to feel guilty. If they made a decision, they made a decision. And it's good to stick on it. The other part, like you were saying, is like external. Is if you want to be more efficient, you better learn from someone who did the same or something very similar before you, so you don't make the mistakes those person were doing. And that is when mentoring comes. And that's the thing, for instance, for me, for training, I have my coaches. It could be from books if you want to prepare your training. But it's good in general if you talk to experience and they tell you, and you really need to trust. So again, we go back to the inner self. So I said, to me, the key part is the inner self, because from that, it will depend as well if you follow the instructions of the mentor or not. If you have a mentor and you have a big ego and you say, no, this mentor don't know, I will do it my way, then why do you have a mentor? So if the mentor is telling you, take this step or don't take it, for instance, on training is, hey, I see you are training a lot, step down and say, no, I'm young, I'm doing my job, I can do it. Probably you get it. Okay, in business, it could be the same. In the balance of all the things, business, family, health and training and starting up something is the same. Is if you don't follow the instruction of someone that is telling you, okay, in order to keep this balance, maybe you need to discuss with your partner, for instance. But instead of saying, no, this I won't bother you, you need to bring the partner into the lifestyle you want to do as an entrepreneur. So I would say they really need to make the exercise to know themselves, to gain the clarity what the priorities, and also to check how is the mentality with respect, being open to learn from others who has done the same. Then the second step, okay, how do they find someone as well who's helping them, which is not always easy. So of course we are offering coaching, which is great, I would say, because definitely there will be always a chemistry call. I think, Sophie, you are doing always a chemistry call, because having this chemistry is very important. But I think in coaching, you can help, I would say, almost everyone you have chemistry with. With mentoring, though, you need to find someone who knows about your specific problem. So if you are starting a business, it's good if you find someone who has done that before, and then you see the problems they had, so you try to avoid to make the same mistakes. And the more experienced the mentor is, they will know more about mistakes that will help you to prevent. Of course, I'm happy to help them if they want to train, to start up businesses, to do operations. I'm very happy to help on those. And I'm trying to help them to build the network, so we find all the mentors that suit them a little bit better. But finding the right mentor is going to help a lot with this time management, energy management, because it's going to prevent them to go into those mistakes that are going to suck at time.
For the time management, to wrap up, actually.
Yeah.
As you said, really what is needed to, it's okay to have a job, 9-to-5 job. There are a lot of examples out there. And also you need to really focus, consciously focus to a point, to the time, and to say no. Sometimes even it would be difficult.
So
if you couldn't be okay with yourself, what I understand
Yes.
from you, and take this time for yourself, but define a time period, like this month, it will be difficult for me. Like I have family situation, health situation. In the beginning of the next month, I will start my work. So to not feel this guiltiness and torture yourself.
yes.
But I wanted some specific examples because
Okay.
I benefit from you a lot in terms of this time management, because I always looking for, it's possible to manage more efficient. And
Yes.
when I read The Efficiency of Success, your book, there were really some kind of checklist. I like it because I didn't need this coaching. Instead of it, I really need to act. So it helped me a lot, like a checklist.
Okay.
Can you share some specific what to do for especially who are listening us or who are watching us?
Generic things for time management.
Yes, some kind of saying no,
Yeah.
conscious decision about time.
So, of course, maybe the people is watching us through social media or whatever, but I definitely, one of the things I believe more people should be saying now is to relax while watching social media or a movie. You can plan it once a week, once a month, I don't know, something that you do consciously, but then you are conscious. If you do that, it's going to impact your sleep, it's going to impact your recovery time, it's going to impact your focus. So yes, you take it like it's an activity that you do for joy if you want it, but it's going to have an impact. So to me, the first thing is like nowadays, even myself, sometimes I find myself like, hey, those guys are doing exceptional good content. And then you're stuck to your phone, tablet, whatever, and that has an impact. So being more conscious about the use they do about the phones. And to me, the first thing I would say is if they don't have a job, they need to be pending on the phone, definitely put it away as long as they want to focus. It could be focused on the family, it could be focused on the sport, it could be focused on the business, whatever. With respect to the phone, emails, we can have many different tips as well. To me, okay, nowadays it's a little bit more difficult because sometimes you need the phone to sign up to, because we have this double verification to go in, which I hate because it forced me sometimes to go to the mobile phone to, hey, click, yes, it's me.
Read the messages and...
So it's more difficult, but the idea is try to get rid of that so you have the time for what you consider important at that time. And try to avoid those distractions. And as I said, phone is, because you have it with you, I think is nowadays the biggest problem. And what I see, and again, we go to the inner self, the people still justify themselves. It's because I'm relaxing. And it is not true. The mind is paying full attention to the content. So your body may be relaxing, yeah, but your mind may not be that much. So for that, I recommend more, for instance, if they are training and afterwards they want to somehow relax, they could stretch. If they want to watch something, maybe they can put something, not social media, not shorts, because they give you constantly to be using your hands. And you could be using your hands to massage yourself, maybe your partner. I don't know. You can try to do other things at the same time if you really want to watch something, which, by the way, I sold my TV years ago and I watch from time to time movies, but it's still sometimes I get my phone, I got distracted. Damn.
And can you share out of your experience what worked? I know this is personal topic, but for you, like you really concentrate mindfully. Okay, now I will do this and later I will do this. Sometimes you are also working in a very, how can I say, serious project. I remember you said, I need to create a program for my work. So consciously I said, I will finish this in a night. How to focus your mind? What helps you to fix your mind to finish this boring tasks. If we have, for example, for me, financial or those technical issues are always boring.
Yeah.
What do you do to sit for those boring topics?
I mean, it's a good question, but I think you said it, I see it. So we all tend to procrastinate, delay things that may be boring, and I think that is natural. But when you see that is still in the back of your mind is impacting you more. So the thing is, okay, how much it is impacting? So many people say, okay, just focus. You want to work, and then you don't do the laundry, you don't even take a shower. I take showers, it's just an example. But people may say, no, it's because consciously I decide to do that. Yeah, but you also need in that process to be conscious how these other things that you're saying are affecting you, how long you can keep doing that. And with those boring things, it's a little bit of the same. Okay, it's not getting a shower, but it's also, okay, that is still in the back of my mind. Can I focus? Now it's impacting me. And also it could be because impacting you legally, it's impacting you financially. If you don't do your tax declaration on time, you will have some fines.
And the voice behind is telling you procrastinate again, and it takes your energy.
Yes. So to me, in those cases, I think it's a few days before or the day before, okay, tomorrow I'm going to focus on this. I don't want to do it, but that is my priority number one. So it's usually not the case I do, I'm going to do this now. Like, I have 5 minutes, let's do it. For me, it's more, no, because I don't want to do it. I'm really conscious saying, this is something that is bothering me. It's been too long, I'm not take care of this. So now I sit and I do it. Of course, you can start having the habit, if depending on what kind of the activities are, that if it's easier, you need to consider if it's easier for you to do it in the moment. But most cases, the people is going to procrastinate, even if it's easier to do it in the moment, and then they will have the block. And the best thing I can recommend is just to schedule it. It's okay, this day, I know, okay, I'm not doing my chores at the home. I'm not cleaning as whatever. Schedule it, just book it, avoid, and whenever someone else is proposing you to do something else, you say no.
Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable, exactly. And it depends what is up to you. Okay, so for instance, if you don't have problem cleaning your house, maybe you don't need to do it. So if I don't do it one day, it's not like I'm going to skip it for a long time. But if you feel like you are really constantly procrastinating, schedule it and make it a non-negotiable.
Yes, yes. What I liked also, maybe to finish that part, and I have also some more questions about last night, but the point is I like actually in the book again. I highly recommend the book because last summer I really spent a lot of time. Are you aware of time? In the book, I remember something like this. Are you managing your time or time managing you? This is the point, that to have the awareness about time, because it's passing, and sometimes we have this very positive mindset. Tomorrow I can do. I have more days. I have more hours, but we couldn't realize how this is affecting us, because to postpone, and it's drained energy.
Yes, and you bring a very good topic, energy. It's not only time, it's energy, it's both of them. As I said, we could have the time, but if we don't have the energy to do something, you won't do it. And that is also one of the things which is, let's mix those two concepts, time and energy, and active and reactive. So you could be actively choosing what you want to do with your time. Of course, you always will have suddenly something happening, but at least you do your best trying to follow your own schedule. Assuming like you're good at scheduling, that is another topic. You will learn how to properly estimate the time of the activities you're going to do, because we are usually very optimistic. But assuming like your plan is like you have a plan and you know what you want to do, you prioritize and you try to do the things that are priority for you. You have your obligations, as we discussed, you can block those as well. So you theorize, I'm going to do the tax declaration, I'm going to do the lounge, I'm going to do things like maybe you don't want to do. But you're active. There's many people say, no, but I want to be free. And then they are reactive to any plan that is coming. Oh yeah, let's go. And they have a lot of fun. But then they realize...
Like in a flow, I like to live in a flow.
Yes, which is not necessarily bad, but if you do that constantly, then you're neglecting your other needs as well. What is really important from you beyond having fun and being in the flow. There are other things that we need as humans. You may be neglecting that. So whenever you plan your schedule, to have this kind of balance, let's call it, don't block your full agenda. First of all, because probably you don't manage to do all the activities. But what you do, if you plan, you can plan for serendipity, like for flow. It's okay. I plan to
You
do
can have
nothing.
flow time also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So plan for that is, this weekend is planned to do whatever it is, whatever it can.
I highly recommend to make it personalized. Now it came to my mind, like really to get this mentorship, at least even one session. If you have to understand personally what is your pain point in this, couldn't you schedule the time or your mindset? There could be a lot of reasons. And with your mentor, you can really analyze your time and you can find this pain point.
Yes.
And you can say, actually, within 2 or 3 sessions, let's try. And you can
So definitely one of the things, exactly. One of the things I totally recommend is to at least, if you can for a month, will be good. It's very difficult, but try to record all the activities you do. So then you realize I'm not telling to change what you're doing. Write down what you have been doing, more or less. It doesn't have to be up to the second, but to have a feeling of what is important to you, the things that you are really maybe not doing and you wanted to do what you were doing instead, and have an idea of all the things. Then, we will assess this time and see what is really important for you there and what activities were really bringing you value, which not, what was missing, what could have been shorter, what may be longer. Maybe you were not spending enough time with your kids and you're also regretting that. So at the end, life is not easy. It's a little bit complex to have all the things that we want to do and we should do. But that's the other point. It depends as well when you do that. And sometimes you say, no, I'm going to give room at the end of the day, and then you're exhausted. You cannot do it.
Yes.
So that's why many coaches say, no, whatever is important to you, do it the first thing in the day. It's because of 2 reasons. It's because if you do it before you start any other thing, you avoid getting your phone, you avoid checking on the emails, you avoid any distractions. So before your kids wake up, maybe you have a period of time with no distractions and you can focus on that. But the main point is because hopefully you had a repairing night and you will have energy to do that. That's mental energy, physical energy, depends what is your goal there. I have one point here, a caveat is you need to know as well when you have the peak of energy. And maybe you're not a morning person and maybe it's not the best moment. And for me, for instance, I'm not the most creative in the morning. I'm more creative in the evening, at night. But I need to be not exhausted at night. So I need to protect my energy. So during the day, I'm not overtraining, I'm not overworking, so I have enough energy. I'm maybe not starting super late or starting at 10 p.m. I may start at 6 p.m. But I need to find when to do that activity when I have my peak energy. For training, it could be the same. To me, training is the opposite, and that's when I have the conflict. I like training in the mornings. Let's say I really enjoy more waking up, going for a run in the morning, but then in the evening, I'm very exhausted. So if I want to do creative job, I may not do a long run in the morning, or maybe I need to skip it, depending how much I want.
Again, conscious decisions.
Correct.
To know yourself.
Exactly.
And conscious decisions out of this.
Yes.
But really, if you work with mentor, because you remember when we first met, I asked a lot of questions like how, why, and then I share some point of mine, in some point I struggle because I have a son and I have family and I was new in Germany. I had a lot of things. And I got very good questions from you. Like I said to you, I try to not sleep and work in 11 o'clock and definitely a very early bird.
Yes.
And you ask why you push yourself to do it, then reorganize your mornings, for example. And I started to do it because I really pushed myself to stay until 11 o'clock. And I said, really, why? Because I'm exhausted in that time period, because I wake up at 4:30. And then I reorganize my mornings, but it's a very personal issue. Again, I highly recommend to personalized time management with a mentor, and for a couple of sessions to analyze your time, especially for co-founders, because they are having a lot of stuffs on the table, as we saw yesterday, and step by step to get this guidance from a mentor. And also what is needed. Yesterday, you asked some questions to co-founders because you know the dynamics, very specific questions. So to work with a mentor who also has experience, like co-founder or own experience from the startup, would be very beneficial because you know the pain points and you exactly asking the question. How you manage this? Did you consider this? I highly recommend while choosing the mentor to have again a chemistry call and to check actually the background, if it's fitting with their need and wants.
They may be struggling because financial is one of the pain points when you're starting a business. So I understand they don't quit the 9-to-5 job. But again, I think it's good if they do a couple of sessions to understand at least how they could reorganize their lives. And maybe they need to reduce their working hours. Maybe they need to find a different job if they can, because the energy they have, and that's what we're discussing, is like if you really want to push hard on your business, when do they have the most energy? And usually we are working around, let's say, 9-to-5, as is usually said, because it's the time where most of the people has most of the energy. So you are giving your best time to your worker. And maybe you could do something different. Maybe you could find something you work in the evenings and you focus during that time, if it's your prime time.
Yes.
So that is also something I think they should focus. It's good to have a mentor and a coach over your journey because it's an endurance sport. It's longer than any of my triathlons. And you feel very lonely sometimes. You feel disappointed when you go to those events and you don't win the prizes and you want money. And it's very difficult mentally. So definitely having a coach and a mentor during that period of time is great. If they cannot afford it, I recommend them definitely at least to network with other people who's going through the same situations. If they go to these kind of startup events, they will meet with other people, they can connect and they can try to make this kind of network. We are trying to connect them. We're trying to do a network as well. So I'm very happy if anyone joins our network. So hopefully they can talk to the people. What we want to build with the network is to put people who is in the same level, let's say, the same step, and being able to access the people who is already on the next step. So they can have this kind of mentoring as well. So that's why I would love if they join. But of course, that is going to be a digital network. Maybe they find people that are in the same city or not, but that's why I recommend to go to any founders event in their own city, so they find people they can meet in person. Actually, now it's a long time I don't meet, but when I went to an event, I think 3 years ago, I was regularly meeting with some of the people in Bremen, in Germany, and it was always nice to discuss, hey, how the project is going, how do you feel, how is the family, and we discuss about many topics, and it's always very nice to have people that is in the same environment. So if they cannot afford, because that is normal, financially sometimes they cannot pay for coaching and mentoring, at least they can join the network and they can create their own network of people.
2 more topics we have, because yesterday I somehow promised that we will have this session. Because I got some questions about how you manage your time, exactly about this topic actually, time management together with 9-to-5 job. So this is first session, let me say. As a second point, I also want to discuss about, I distracted a little bit because one more topic come to my mind about when you discuss about energy in a day. Actually, they do not prioritize most of the time their health, but energy is coming from health.
Exactly.
And I really believe our job a lot, like to you and to me, because we have this awareness, like having this health, physical health, emotional health, business intelligence. Now what I'm realizing, co-founder coaches only focusing on business intelligence most of the time.
Most of the time.
But if there is
all the other legs, otherwise.
Other legs, yes. What about health? Because to work, to have this endurance, you need physical health. Maybe there is some kind of hormonal issues of you makes you sleepy. Could be. Are you aware about this?
There are many things related.
There are many things. So we may have one more session, like how to keep the energy health and what you are going to do, how triathlon and sport help you.
Okay.
We are really good. We have a lot of experience. Oh my God. So a lot of things come to my mind, but I didn't want to interrupt you because since years you got this energy from sport, and while you are doing this, what else can other people do for physical health?
Okay.
We can do this. But now I want to, today, this is another episode.
All right.
Today we can talk about those emotional weakness time, especially really in the beginning. They have nothing in their hand, nothing successful. They're afraid if I effort a lot and if I leave my job or I really spend 5 years and what if I'm not going to be successful?
It's a nice topic. I think it's normal. We always say, and you will read, okay, don't take it like a failure, take it like a lesson learned, and it's a good mentality. But the fact is, whenever you do something and you fail, we're humans and we will have this feeling of failure. I think it's very difficult to avoid it. With the time, you can reflect and you say, okay, what have I learned from this? But still, you may have this feeling of failure. And I think it's unavoidable for most of the people. And okay, yeah, you have that feeling. You fail on that point. But what are you going to do about it? Yeah, are you going to hide under the blanket because you fail, or you're going to keep trying? And that's the thing. The winner's mentality is not, I believe it's not like they really believe like they didn't fail. Probably they feel they fail, but yet they keep trying. And to me, that mentality, it's very important. And the difference between, in every aspect, as on sports I like, or in business, it's not like the professional athletes, they don't feel the failure, they fail, but how fast they recover, how fast they go back into the baseline they have, how fast they go, keep training, giving the maximum and believing like they keep doing. So in almost any aspect of your life, I think we're going to have these failures, and it's normal. It could be you may have like relationships that are not working, businesses that are not working, you're arguing with your kids, and there are many things that are going to fail. And then it's like how long you allow that to affect you. And I think it's almost impossible to prevent that to affect you, but the more conscious you are, the faster you can recover. And I think that is where the key is.
As a mentor, you can help them how to recover and what to do.
They will need to
recover.
find, let's say, what is working for them. Of course, I can tell things that works for me. It depends. If it's emotionally, it depends a lot what is the emotion that I'm having. Sometimes it's just, I need movement, I need music. That helps me alone. I go for a run, I may just put specific music like that works for me, doesn't mean it works for other people. So they will need to discover. As I said, I can tell what works for me. And sometimes it's more difficult. You may have like real family problems. Someone maybe died recently, or a difficult breakup. And sometimes it's more difficult, but still in those situations, it's always good to ask yourself. And that's the thing we can try to do, is if they are going through a difficult moment, we discuss. Or maybe if they realize and they have this emotional intelligence, is okay, I'm going through a difficult moment. I feel lonely, I feel sad, I feel frustrated, whatever is this, let's say, this feeling, they can realize, okay, that is a signal. What I do now with this information. I think it's always good to have regular meetings with coach or a mentor. They can ask that question for you, because sometimes we forget. And that's the thing. It depends where they are. As a founder, they are going to go through many different emotional states.
Challenges and states. Yeah.
Because usually founders get really fond, they love their idea, they don't want to detach the idea. They go from a very emotional, very high excitement phase. About this project, I can do this, I can do that, and then they face reality. And then they cannot go as fast as they go. They don't win the prizes. The people is not supporting their ideas because they cannot communicate, or maybe because other people just don't believe. They don't have to believe on their idea. And then they start to be feeling lonely, and that process is hard. And again, if they knowing like this is very normal, they may help. Again, we're talking about this network. I think it's good to have people that has gone through the same thing, and that will help them feel less lonely. At least on the environment. So I think like connecting with other peers that are going through similar situations is going to be very helpful for them.
And what I know, you are not sharing, but I know one of your biggest tip.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I'm curious to see which one is my biggest tip.
You have your vision board, and you told me in the beginning of the year, or you created this vision board, and you said to me that you put it to a place in every morning you can see and have this connection. I think it helps you to recover yourself when you feel afraid, failure, or lack of confidence. So how does vision board help you to see every morning?
So the idea is, actually I'm thinking to change the vision board a little bit.
Okay, maybe we can make a live session with you.
Yeah, maybe. But the vision board is good when it's refreshing you why you are doing it.
Yes.
And my vision board is giving me a little bit of the why, but I have also a little bit also of the what. And I think I would change it a little bit. What is the impact I want to see? What is the why of the things I'm doing? So I put, for instance, like surfboards there. And that reminds me of the fun. I want to have more fun on my life. I enjoy surfing. I'm very bad at it, but I really enjoy it. And that reminds me of the fun. But then I put a nice house. And the house itself, to me, is not that important. Yeah, of course, I would like a place. So I put out another picture that was with my family. And yeah, unfortunately, my grandmother died yesterday. She was on the picture, her sister as well. She died with almost 103 years. Long life. But to me, that's the thing. If I want a house to invite people. I want a house to, maybe in the future, create a family and have some life there. It's not just the house what is important to me. So to me, I'm not thinking, like, why did I put the house there?
It's a very good recommendation, again, to first create the vision board. Then if you have all day in front of you, then you still continue unconsciously, maybe. Your mind continue to deepen it.
So the good thing of the vision board, even if you think that and you want to change it, is like it refreshes you why you want to do the thing. Another thing, you're struggling, but I want to help this community, really. And then maybe you didn't put the right image there, but then you really need to link this vision board with the why. Okay, what is the impact you are bringing there? One of the things we are trying to do in the FastForward-Institute, of course, is to make the people aware of the value so they can really align what they are doing, this why, with themselves. And I think that is really important because other thing is like, if in the vision board you just put like fancy things because you like a nice car or a nice house or whatever, it's like, yeah, but why do you want it? Okay, it's just ego boosting, or it's just because you want more fun, or maybe it's because you want more connection with this type of people. I don't know, there is a reason why.
Creating an impact.
Yeah, so the thing is, try to put something that whenever you're struggling is going to remind you of that why. And that to me is the value of the vision board. Not the what that you have there, but the why. And I think that is key. The thing is we forget about that. And especially for the co-founders that we have the 9 to 5, and they want to do the job. Sometimes they are in the middle, they are doing the fight and they forget why they fight. And they keep taking steps and one day they realize, oh, I achieved this. Why don't I feel successful? The idea is to constantly check why you are doing what you do. And if it's not aligned with what you want, change.
I really wanted now, I have this intention to do a vision board session, really, because I love those vision board sessions. Maybe in the middle of the year we are now, not so late for the year, we can review vision boards and we can help them how to do a vision board. We can also include this what approach in it. Okay, great. And do you want to add more? Like when you have this afraid feeling, what I recommend last night to a guy, actually, thank you him that he opened my mind, actually, because he said, sincerely, I feel the honesty, actually, that he opened his heart because there was music, a lot of things. So I really felt touched because he really cared about what is he doing. And I just said, okay, what this afraid wants to tell you as an emotion.
Okay.
So first thing he said, because I love Gestalt coaching, it's a very not the best coaching approach to work with feelings. And I asked, what is afraid of failure wants to tell you? And he said, it's just an emotion. I said,
Yes.
can you imagine like a character, this emotion? And can you have a chat with this character, like animation character? He said, oh yes, I love animation. And I helped him to connect with his emotion. And you know what he told me? He said, told me, this animation character told me, you are working a lot. And so you are just don't have joy in your life. And that moment I said, can you understand how important is this? There is an emotion, you want to remove it in your life. You are fighting all the time. But actually this afraid tells you gives you very good advice about your needs and wants. Because this afraid wants to tell you, don't forget about joy in your life. We all the time wants to really fight with the difficult emotions. We want to just close them.
And maybe men, we do more than women. We don't want to recognize that we have what we call negative emotions. And then that, I think you made a very good point. It's like these are emotions, they are not good or bad, positive or negative. They are telling you something.
Yes.
And fear is something I know, I need to be brave. I don't have fear. No, you can be scared of something, afraid of whatever, of failure, and it's normal, but be conscious about that and what is telling you.
Give them a message about your needs and wants.
Yes, and maybe just give them a different label. It's an emotion, it's not negative, it's not positive, it's telling you something.
Yes,
So
telling you something. It's there to tell you something.
It's a very good thing.
Yes, I love this conversation actually then, because most of the time when we have these difficult emotions, we tend to go to our traumas. Those are very important for sure. But sometimes it's not deep. It's just a feeling came and wants to tell you something. And if you take the advice and if you act for this to also not forget about the joy, it's a very good reminder. And once you embrace, it's not anymore there or affecting you a lot, let me say. To make this reflection, what they want to tell you, and listen them, actually. It will help.
Again, like I was saying, like it's good to have regular sessions to ask those questions. This is also one of the questions, like many people is not stopping and asking themselves that question. So it depends how advanced are they in their self-aware techniques. They will ask themselves that question more or not. And that's why, again, it's very important to have someone regularly seeing, discussing, and asking you those questions.
Maybe we can a little bit talk about business intelligence, because there were finalists, 4 or 5, I couldn't remember. And they have this passion, they have very good speeches, like pitch. They were really prepared, but jury asked some business intelligence questions.
Like, where are you getting the money from?
Yes, but even there were some missing parts. And how mentor can help in this business intelligence perspective?
Yeah, a mentor has gone through several processes. Usually they fail as well several times before they succeed. So they can see already problems they had in developing similar business. Another thing, they overcome those problems. There was a question about the chicken egg problem, okay? And you want to create this app where you want the suppliers to be in there, but the suppliers will go once they are customers, and the customers will go also as well when they are suppliers. How to solve that situation? And again, they didn't think about that problem, but the person in the jury who was asking that question, she was asking that question because it's the problem they were facing before. And they found a way to go through it.
And try to support them to consider, because they try to say that this is important. Did you consider this?
Yes, of course, it's better if you consider it before going to the jury there.
For sure, but
better if you do it before really going into the business. A mentor put, what is the first step you are going to do as a supplier and as a client? What are you going to do to start growing that? It's just one example, but I don't know how exactly the person in the jury faced the problem. It depends what the network is. This one was about hair products, if I remember correctly. So definitely there, they could do the reviews of the products themselves. They could really invest there. They could use part of the money. They could say, okay, the money we're going to win is precisely going to start these networks, trying to grow this supplier part so we can grow more customers and we can do some tests. And then with the most popular products we have. And the mentor is going to tell what they did, and it was useful. I don't have experience in her products. It's maybe very niche idea, but at least someone who was doing something similar they had. It's key really to contact them and say, okay, yeah, thank you for the question. How did you solve it? And get this. And that is what the mentor is going to say, okay, this is the problem I had in the past. I see you will have probably the same problem. I did this, how we can use this or convert it to your case.
Okay. Yes. Good point. What else as a business intelligence?
One of the point
topic?
I was missing there a lot is on the business model, is how they will make money. And they say there was, for instance, another idea, and there was again one question of the jury that was very good. It was a question, one app to connect car users to workshops. The founders, they wanted to charge the people with the car, and the jury was saying, yeah, but why I'm going to pay a monthly subscription for maybe one problem I have a year, if any, depends on the age of your car and the lucky you are. But why I'm going to pay a subscription? I don't see that happening. And I think he was implying mechanics, they have constantly customers. Why we don't bring more customers to mechanics and then we get a commission from there or something like that? Change your business model. And sometimes people is loving the idea, but they don't see really how to make money. Sometimes it's tough, but we need, as founders, we need money to keep it surviving. And
also to check the customer perspective as a customer. Is it make sense to pay money, right?
yes.
When you share the services.
And they will found sooner or later. The idea with the mentor is you found it sooner than later. And even try to prevent it. Guys, we have run that. And that expertise could really help them to prevent then problems like getting the business running and getting the money. It's quite important. How to get the first customers is something that we all struggle. And if you are targeting the wrong customers, to charge to the wrong customers to be difficult. We usually recommend always try to focus on business to business. It's usually easier. There is more money there. If you want to do B2C to customer, let's say, it's going to be more difficult. So how you could involve companies into your business model. It doesn't mean you discard the customers in your business model. They may, but maybe you have a freemium option. You also have something for free, and if you want more, you make your customers pay, because customers usually they're not willing to pay much, but companies, they know this is part of the investment and they invest more. I see this in business intelligence. They struggle on the business model, definitely. They struggle on identifying friction points or problems they may have in the future because they never went through them. And they may struggle a lot on finding the best customer. It's a little bit of what I discussed. It could be, okay, a normal customer. It could be a company, but what type of company? What type of person? How you're going to target them? And some people think, I can target everyone, and that is true. Your product maybe could be for everyone. You are doing something for hair treatments, as I was saying before. Almost everyone has hair. Sorry for the bald people, but your resources at time are going to be limited and you will need to market them. What is the ones that are going to give you most of the revenue so you can grow at the beginning and then you can serve more people. And that comes as well in competition sometimes with this love for what you do, the mission, I want to help this group. Yes, you want to help this group. But if you don't make money, you won't be able to help them.
You also did a kind of mentorship last night.
I did.
I realized, and I love it. And you ask a question to this passionate guy. I really liked his idea and passion. You ask, do you have money? It was a very simple question, by the way. And I just look and...
I think I asked, how do you pay your
life?
Yes,
yeah. How do you pay your life expenses? And then you ask, and he said, I have an amount of money, but I'm getting out of it, so I don't know what to do. And you directly recommend a very basic but very effective recommendation as a mentor. You say, just look around and just observe who has money and share your ideas with them. Sometimes it's conscious network, what you need and how you network, how you find those people.
Yes.
It was a very good advice, actually. Just, this is an environment you can start as now, not tomorrow, now.
Yes. And that example, actually, the guy had some savings, let's say, and they were running out. And the thing is, like, he had, because we were talking with the different founders, he had, I think, a nice product idea they are developing with a university. So they already had a product that is mostly viable. Of course, they need to reduce the production cost. They need to do some things until it's really ready for the market. But I think it's a good idea. And when you go to investors, they're going to invest in you and the product. So if you already have a product that is built, okay, so they know like you can do it. Now, of course, there is still work to do, but it's not like you just have an idea. So that is already a very good step. So he was in a very good position to approach investors and say, and be open with them. It's like some investors may not care about your private situation. Okay, that could be, but you don't want to be a partner of those investors. You want someone who understands you're a human as well. And you can ask them, you can talk to them and talk about your situation and say, hey, I have this product, you have seen it, I believe in it, we are working. There were other things that were also very good for the business, that regulation is going to help them in the future. And he can talk and other things like go and talk. You're a human, investors are humans as well. And probably they had other problems in the past as well. Hey, I have this idea, I'm running out of money, what do you do? And it doesn't mean that you are asking money to that investor, but he has connections, he has knowledge. So go to the people who has the knowledge and make that investor your mentor in finance. So I would say you're not going to be a mentor in finance, not definitely as good as someone who's working in that environment. So go to them, find the people and be brave to ask and be brave to open as well. I want to develop this, I'm running out of money and I don't want to divert my, as we were talking before, my energy, my focus, my time in just working, let's say McDonald's, to say something, but something that has nothing to do with this project. I will do it if I need to, but help me to find a better solution.
Maybe to have a kind of pitch, not only in, no need always to be in an event actually, for every time, because you may meet in a cafe, you never know, or in a train, you may need someone and you can explain you may have a pitch prepared before, like using the facts, regulations, what you did, to have a kind of...
Yeah, I was talking only about the event. I was talking only about the event because on the event, actually, something that the organization did that was very good, it was asking at the beginning, who came here as a founder, who came here as an investor.
Yes.
So you could identify people already.
Even they know that someone will come. The investors know that someone will come. It's very obvious for everyone, like they are expecting you. So no need for...
They go there for networking. They go there to check for ideas. If you really believe on your idea, approach them. And you don't need a approach just to ask them for money, but they can help you a lot. Introducing you, telling you, there was one on the jury that has founded a venture capital company a long time ago, and he could definitely maybe be very interested to say, okay, I don't really care about the price. I want to invest in your company, and I'm going to give you this amount of money for this percentage of your company to help you in the stage you are, depends. Or maybe it's not, you're not on the stage for my venture capital. I help more advanced companies, but I know someone who does, and it can introduce you. So these kind of events are great for that, especially if you go to big cities. It depends a lot on which stage you are. And that's also, you have to be honest. And if you just have an idea, it's going to be very difficult. Europe is more difficult maybe than in US. But still, you can find things. Now, of course, you can network everywhere. But at the point, it's like also, when I talk about relationships, is where do you want to find your partner? If you want someone to practice sports, don't go to a bar. If you want someone who likes to drink wine, maybe go to a bar or a winery. And so if you go to a startup event, you have the people there that is going to be closer to your interest. That is why it's very good. So going to those kind of events is strategic. Maybe not to win the competition, maybe just you don't even need to present because you don't have time for that, but you go, you network, and you can really be open. Of course, if you are one of the presenters, the investors will know about your idea. This much better. So I totally, push the people to go there, present the idea. Because one of the things we struggle is to make us public. And if you want your success, people need to know you, need to know your product, need to know your service. Otherwise, it's impossible. And it doesn't matter if you're starting, you already have it running. The people need to know about you. And it's something I still struggle, and I'm improving, but you have to overcome. I was going to say you have to be fearless, but it's not true. We're going to have always the fear, as we were saying before. So the thing is, despite your fear, what are you going to do? Yes, you have an investor, maybe taller than you, handsomer than you, richer than you, but still you approach, you tell your situation and how they can help.
Very good advice, because I also hesitate. Is it good time, or just ask actually, are you available? Do you have a few minutes? I want to just meet. If they are couldn't focus, it's also okay. Maybe it's not the right time, but very good advice. If you hesitate, just try. And it may work.
Yeah. And if it's a stranger, just treat them like, it doesn't matter the appearance, it doesn't matter who they are. It's like, you never know who's the person behind. Whenever anyone is interacting and pitching or whatever and talking about what they are doing, don't make assumptions what the other person is, what is going to do. Yesterday, for instance, we went to the event and we approached our contact there on the organization.
Oh, yes, very good point.
And she was very busy. And then I saw she was talking to a woman, whatever. I interrupted a little bit just to say hello. And I ignored the other woman a little bit. And then it turned out that woman was the CEO of Targo Bank. So it would have been an excellent opportunity to introduce myself.
Yes.
I didn't use it. I'm Francisco. I'm just in contact with that person. I just came to say hello, whatever. At least you introduce a first contact and you never know. But so don't assume anything. Treat them like they are kings or queens.
Together with fear, actually, to remember also the purpose, your dreams may help you actually for what you are doing this.
Yeah, but again, that helps maybe for people who's very self-aware and balance maybe.
Okay.
When you're in that situation, you have all this adrenaline, all this anxiety, excitement, all that
Maybe
together.
a little bit shy and...
Probably you don't remember about this. So I hope they do. I hope they constantly take the habit about thinking why they are doing things. And when they go there, they remember the why. And that helps them. But it may not happen. So
Yes, right.
What I recommend is just
act.
get the act and of course, don't overthink. But again, take the habit of approaching people. And that's where what you said is very useful. Like approach everyone who's sitting by you on the train, ask, engage in conversation, and get rid of this anxiety of talking to strangers. If someone doesn't want to talk, I respect it. But most of the time, people is happy to talk about themselves. They can ask you as well, what are you doing? You can introduce it.
Yes.
And that will help you because you don't have an interest beyond like practice. Just practice with the people. And then when you go to the events, have this practice and it's going to be easier.
Always, I like to have this conversation with you. It's a part of our daily life. And what I like, we are doing it we are sharing this. Yes. What we are discussing in our daily life, we are also sharing this, and we love to support people, both of us. And I like actually to make it public because we really think about such kind of issues, how to help. And also we are working about ourselves. So I like really the idea that we are chatting and sharing with other people. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for the talk.
I hope the people who's listening fast forward their lives and they start today,
not tomorrow.